Hello, I'm Larimar. Today I wanted to make a video about your life purpose by astrological perspective. So this is based off of your chart ruler, the ruler of your first house. And I decided to make this series because I personally found it very useful to get to know who I am and get the clues from my birth chart. It incredibly helped me deepen my self-awareness and helped me realize the aspects of myself that I was not consciously aware of. So basically it allowed me to see myself from objective perspective. So I think it's very cool. So I actually just posted my blog post on my website, and so I'm going to refer to it. Basically, yeah, this is my notes. So, yeah, for those of you who are not familiar with what is birth chart is basically a snapshot of the energetic dynamics at the time of your birth from your birth location. And it's interesting that this energy starts playing out throughout your entire life. So, once you know how to decipher your charts, you can have a lot of clues about your life and how to ace your life. So I hope this is helpful for you, and let me know if you resonate with it. And know that not every single details are predetermined from the moment of your birth because we all have our free wills. However, there are certain things that were predetermined that we agreed upon to play this life. For example, there are certain things that we cannot really change, like the location of birth and parent, sibling, childhood experience, um, especially when we are physically vulnerable and don't have a lot of power to change the external circumstances. So those are things are predetermined and that's are accurately reflected on your chart, and most of the time your childhood has a lot to do with your previous lifetime and mostly the things that were not resolved in that time. So it was carried over to this current lifetime. Yeah, so without further ado, I would like to dive in. So if your chart ruler or the ruler of your first house is in your third house, your life purpose has to do with communication, interacting with other people, social networking, community, short distance travels, transportation, commerce, as well as learning. Because the third house represents exchange of any sorts. And these days, it also includes social media, marketing, journalism, advertisements, and commercial activities in general. So definitely this third house or Gemini, which is the third sign, play significant roles in the modern society. Also, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of mind and intellect. So your life purpose has a lot to do with your mind. You can be also a scientist. A lot of scientists have a strong emphasis in the third house or Gemini. It rules logic, and also because it is about exchanging idea. To exchange your idea, you need to communicate with others. So it also rules writing, speaking, reading, any communication skills. It also rules learning hands-on skills, specifically technical skills. Anything that requires your hand, like drawing, even artistic skills, painting, DIY craft stuffs are definitely ruled by Mercury. Another characteristics of Gemini or third house is multitasking because Gemini is a twin sign. it rules multiple fields. So you may be most likely to involve in multiple areas. For example, you could have multiple jobs or multiple businesses or a few different specialties as a professional, or you can play different social roles. Like you can be a super mom, you can be a successful businesswoman while you are a mother of like 3 kids, something like that. Basically, you could wear many hats. And this is because Gemini rules multitasking. So, in this lifetime, your primary soul mission is to deeply engage in your community and connect people in a way that the community members can function efficiently for a specific purpose. So your focus is likely to be a small group of people. It's not about a macro crowd, and the context is going to be different for each individual, and it's going to be based off of your zodiac sign that is in your third house. So, for example, if you have Virgo in your third house and the chart ruler is in your third house, then you can involve in medical industry because Virgo rules medical industry or any job that requires tedious, detail-oriented tasks. Because Virgo is the house of organization and it rules work in general. So, oh, and I forgot to mention that the third house or Gemini rules teaching. It's also about learning. So, you are supposed to develop learning skills. You can learn a bunch of different areas in this life. Yet, your primary goal would be developing communication skills because it has to do with connecting people in the community in a specific group of community members. Yeah, so it's interesting that the third house rules so many different little things. So you might be very busy. A lot of you would find yourself in a busy environments. That's kind of normal, and yeah, and also you can have a very strong influence on your siblings, colleagues, or teammates, neighbors. These are the type of people that Gemini or third house rules, or vice versa. Those people can have strong impact on you. So that is part of your life path, having influence on those people. And depending on which planet you have in your third house, for example, if you have Saturn, you would have a lot of challenges with your siblings or friends in early part of your life, especially in the elementary school, because that's what is ruled by third house Gemini. But at the same time, those challenges help you grow into a better version of yourself. So even if you have difficulties and obstacles in this area, this part of your life is what you're supposed to develop the most and overcome the challenges. You would have to put the real work to have healthy boundary with these people, and having Saturn in the third house would require you develop learning skills. It would take 3 to 5 times more than other people to learn the simple things, but it's gonna be so worth it and you're gonna master it because Saturn helps you master. But there's gonna be a high learning curve personally for you. But yeah, but the rewards are gonna be very much worth it. So I'm just gonna briefly read my notes, which I will be posting on my blog shortly. Developing social skills and communication skills, learn to interact with others and exchange information, thoughts, and any value. Learning hands-on skills, developing multitasking abilities, teaching people worldly skills and topics. And it's more about instructional teaching rather than teaching some sort of principle or macroscopic perspective like theory. So both third house and ninth house rules teaching, but the third house rules microscopic elements. It's more about factual information versus ninth house or Sagittarius is about the word view, bird eyes view, and market trends like forecasts of any specific field, whether it be economics, politics, or finance, any other area. It also rules religion and philosophy. Both houses share the common things, but they are in a different position in the spectrum. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So in this lifetime, you can act like an agent, or you can even have an agency. You deliver information to the people, to us, to a selective group of people. So you can be in media or marketing industries. It seems that Gemini in third house rules so many different things, and it's true, it is versatile. It's the house of versatility. But the core essence of Gemini or third house is the connection. So you're here to connect people and connect the dots so people can have a bigger idea of what is going on. Yeah, so you can even invent something new. You can be an inventor. You can be a speaker, writer. Also, most importantly, third house is the house of self-made worth. It's because it's the second house from the second house. It's a derived house. So you are supposed to build your own wealth, personal finance, through your own skills and abilities. So that's why it's so crucial for you to develop skill sets. Whatever you know, whatever skills you have or your knowledge are literally your assets that are going to be your money. And this is true for everyone, but you have a special emphasis in this area. So it is possible for you to make a lot of money purely based off of your skills and knowledge, which I think is very cool. And usually it's gonna come into fruition later in life or all right, so I had to replace the battery because it just died. Yeah, so to continue, depending on the dignity of your planets, the chart ruler, if it is strong, yeah, you're meant to be a millionaire. You are going to make a lot of money through your skills and knowledge and communication skills. So basically, wealth comes from your own skills, and it doesn't come easy because it's one of the houses, because third house is one of the houses of improvement. It improves over time, so you need to put the real effort to improve your skills. It's gonna take some time, but in the end, it's gonna be worth it. You're gonna reap the benefits, the fruits of your labor. So hands-on skills, instruments, you can play instruments pretty well. Drawing, crafts, writing, any skills that required hands, machine operating as well. And these people tend to be very skillful. So your life purpose in this life is to learn the skills and use it for the community and be actively, socially active and engage in community activities. And the last thing, and I want to add on to what you can be aware of, because the third house is the house of mind. You can find yourself often overthinking and mentally overwhelmed. So it's important to balance this aspect with the opposite sign, which is ninth house or Sagittarius. So try to see a big picture. Don't try to be so caught up with the details. Try to see the forest and focus on the long-term visions as well. Yeah, I forgot to mention that third house also has to do planning and executions. So this, you can be very good at planning and basically keeping yourself busy. So to offset this quality, try to be mindful and go meditation. The more you build a connection with the higher dimension, whether you call it God, universe, or source energy, whatever that is, it's gonna be helping you to calm your mind and stay balanced and centered. So I hope you found it helpful, insightful in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, let me know how you think. I would love to read your comments. So yeah, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.